So last week, my fellow agents, I posted a video on farming for God rolled mods and showing you some effective ways to try to pick them up, one of which being farming legendary content in the summit. Now, a lot of you reached out asking me to put together a legendary tank build, and the only additional request you gave me was to put something together without using the memento or the ninja bike, so that's exactly what I'm bringing you today. What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and as you can see on screen, with this build you are an absolute bullet sponge, and there are two important factors to remember as we start off. First of all, I'm absolutely awful using a handgun, so you will probably be much more efficient with this build than I am, and secondly, this is one of so many different ways to run with a build like this. So as always, as we go through the build breakdown, I am going to give you a few options because you do have many to choose from, but as promised, you will see this build without the ninja bike or the memento, and obviously those are great items you can use with this build, but again, I wanted to make sure I highlighted something that you can put together with gear from the open world. And when it comes to the weapon, thankfully you do have a lot of viable options for this build. We will go over those details as well. Right now you're just looking at a little bit of gameplay footage. We're going to jump right into the build. After that, go over a few tips and tricks for new and returning players. So starting with a specialization, you can see I'm using Technician, and that is for two main reasons. First of all, you're getting this extra 12% damage bonus to drone skill proxies and robotics, but more importantly, this specialization gives you the ability to use the Artificer Hive, and that is going to have a huge impact on your shield survivability. And as always, make sure you have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way, no matter which one you're using, you're always getting that 15% weapon damage bonus. Now, my primary weapon for this build happens to be my handgun because I'm using my Bulwark shield non-stop. Now, I'm using the Liberty, but as I said earlier, you do have a lot of options. If you have the Regulus, which is still a raid exclusive, you definitely want to use that. You could use a D50 with the talent Determined or Close and Personal. You could use the Prophet TDI card as well. And as you saw in the footage before, and you'll see in the footage at the end of this as well, even with terrible aim like me, you can still get the job done. Now, moving on to the gear, we are running 4 of the Foundry Bulwark gear set and 2 of the Bellstone Armory, starting with the mask. It's the first of 4 pieces of the Foundry, and we're using all 4 so we get all of the gear set bonuses: 10% total armor, 1% armor regen, 50% shield health, and 4 pieces makeshift repairs. Now, on all of these pieces, I am trying to stack armor regen and protection from elites everywhere I can. We will get into those details at the end of the video. Moving on to the body armor, it's the first of 2 pieces of Bellstone, which is going to give us that 1% armor regen. I'm also using the talent Intimidate. While you have bonus armor, you're going to gain 1 stack each second up to a max of 7. Each stack increases weapon damage by 5% to enemies within 10 meters. And with this build, and you saw an example of this at the beginning of the video, but I'm always pretty damn close to NPCs, which means that the talent on the chest is going to be running non-stop. Next, we have the holster, the knee pads, and the gloves. They are the 3 remaining pieces of the Foundry gear set. Once again, I'm trying to stack armor regen, or explosive resistance is a good option as well. Now we finally make our way to the backpack, and as I said before, that is where we have our second piece of Bellstone, which is going to give us that 10% armor on kill, and I'm choosing to run with the talent Adrenaline Rush. Now, the main reason I'm using that is when you're close to enemies, as you can see, you're going to be getting that bonus armor, and it does stack. Now, for me, because my time to kill is slow with this weapon, always having that bonus armor running just because I'm close to NPCs is always going to keep the talent procced on my chest. And like I said before, because my time to kill is slow, I'm not going to be able to pick up those trophies as quickly as I would with a typical run and gun build. For me, this works for my game style, and as I mentioned in all of these videos, use this as a template and make the thing your own. As far as my skills go, I'm using the Artificer Hive and the Bulwark shield. Those 2 things combined are keeping my agent on his feet. I sincerely hope you enjoy this, and if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know, and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family that we have here at the channel. So if you happen to have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, please leave them in the comment section, as the main goal is to help out as many people as we can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage with commentary. I just left my mic on while I was playing, and I also want to thank you all. In my last video, I asked if you wanted to see the gameplay footage in these build videos at the beginning or at the end. It was pretty much split down the middle 50-50. Some of you said that you really didn't need to see any gameplay footage whatsoever. You skip over that anyway. And honestly, first of all, I appreciate your honesty, but I have to show something because I cannot claim for something to be legendary if I do not show it on legendary content. You know how much I appreciate your time. So moving forward, I'm always going to show you a little bit of gameplay at the beginning, followed up with more at the end if you want to watch it. I never want to waste your time. That way you have the decision of checking out the build and bailing if you want. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. And as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Yeah, look at this thing. We can just you can take a beating with this build, and that's what's great. I mean, I probably said this in the video, but for those of you just jumping into Legendary, start off in the Summit. Keep your back to the wall. Keep the shield between you and anyone who's trying to shoot you, and you should be good. I mean, you can see the survivability. Now, I'm pretty sure in the video I probably talked about the fact that I'm also using a handgun, which as you can see is pretty damn accurate. So it's going to take me much longer to take out these NPCs than probably most of you out there. But again, you know, for those of you just jumping into the game, or if you have terrible aim like I do, it's not that I have terrible aim, it's that, you know, when you run with a type of build that you don't normally run with, it takes a while. I think that's one of the reasons when you see certain builds. Like I know, for instance, if this was heroic content with a Scorpio Hunter's Fury build, it'd be ripping through it. But something like the, you know, when you're running something like this, it does take a little while to get used to that. You're just chasing them around, getting foamed left and right. Look at that shield. Look at that Artificer Hive. Kick in. Don't heal your son of a... Hate when that happens. Oh, that's the downside of this. You know what I mean? Is when you're running with a build like this, the downside is if you do not get those shots in succession, you run the risk of, you know, starting from scratch. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear the tapping of the not the microphone, the controller. I think I figured out a way to mute it pretty damn good. Look, I'm getting foam non-stop. Did he just... Son of a... Okay, I'm telling you right now, if it happens a third time, I'm going to rage quit and stop playing. For today, not ever. I mean, what am I, crazy? No, seriously, if it happens a third time, I'm just done. And I know half of you out there are probably thinking, oh man, I hope it happens again. I want to hear Greybeard flip out. So do I, friend, so do I. All right. What should we talk about? Yeesh. But see, that's great too, you know? And the other thing is this. So when you're right now you're looking at a floor 10 farm. Something I've highlighted a bunch at the channel. Can't get you, don't do it. Hang on. I'm telling you to hang on. Like you have any impact on what I'm physically doing right now as I'm recording. Anyway, floor 10 farm, not going to get you in trouble. Farming bosses over and over. I'll leave a link to another video. But basically what it boils down to is you take out the named boss. You keep at least one NPC alive, then go back to the lobby and you can reset. All right, let's see what we have real quick. That was pretty decent. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, pretty decent gear. Again, you know, when doing one legendary run, it's not that bad. All right, so that's it. We're done. That's all. That's all I got time for today, my fellow agents. We're just going to end this thing like a radio announcer. You know how much I appreciate your time. Hope you did not have a case of the Mondays. We don't have those here in California. It is currently 1:33 p.m. Pacific. Winds coming out of the southwest at 3 miles an hour, 92 degrees. And as always, take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. See you in the next one.